Our planet is home to many fearless and formidable predators, but strangely some of these animals have never killed or even attacked humans. Some animals are so specialised that they will only choose to hunt a few different prey animals, whereas others are naturally shy and skittish and choose to avoid potential threats. Of course, there are many other complicated reasons why some apex predators will not hunt or attack humans in the wild, and I'll be trying to go through all of them today. In today's video, I'll be covering some of the most famous examples of top predators that don't kill humans, and we'll start off with one of the most distinctive big cats in the world. The snow leopard can be found in the mountain ranges of Central Asia, but it's not exactly the easiest animal to find. Sightings of wild snow leopards are extremely rare, and this is because of their incredible camouflage and their elusive nature. They can be extremely hard to spot even when they're right in front of you, and this ability to blend in helps them to get within a few meters of their prey. Even though this beautiful cat is called a leopard, it's more closely related to tigers than it is to leopards, and just like tigers, they can survive in colder, harsher conditions than the other big cats. They will feed on almost all animals in their ecosystem, and because large animals are rarely seen in remote mountains, they will risk everything to secure a kill. The majority of their diet is made up of large sheep and goats, and these animals are also true masters of their harsh, unforgiving habitats. They are renowned for their balance and their ability to move at speed across uneven, steep terrain, but these abilities sometimes aren't enough to escape the clutches of the snow leopard. Despite the fact that snow leopards are among the deadliest mountain predators alive today, they are still threatened with extinction. They are currently listed as vulnerable, as it's estimated that there are fewer than 10,000 of these cats left in the wild. Most of the reasons behind this are human-related, as they are affected by habitat loss, poaching, and human-wildlife conflict. Their skins still demand a high price, and poachers will risk years behind bars to trap and shoot snow leopards. Most of the demand for the furs comes from Russia, China, and Kazakhstan, and if this wasn't enough, their body parts are also used in traditional Chinese medicine. Many of the livestock animals in their region are very similar to their natural prey, so they will commonly hunt the livestock, leading to conflict. Of course, it's not the snow leopard's fault, as they are simply doing what they have been doing their whole lives, but farmers will often illegally retaliate in response to loss of livestock. Even when snow leopards are cornered by humans, they will always choose to flee, and this is why there has never been a verified snow leopard attack on a human. Out of all the big cats, they are the least aggressive towards humans, and this is despite the fact that they could easily take us down. One of the largest snow leopards on record weighed a whopping 75 kilograms, and this is around 15 kilograms heavier than the average weight of a man in the area in which it's found. They are also extremely stocky and powerful cats, and their camouflage and stealth would mean that it would be easy for them to creep up on humans. It seems as though the snow leopard chooses to avoid humans, as they would much rather target more traditional prey, and I'm sure the rampant poaching has only increased their fear of humans over the years. Sharks are arguably the animals that we fear the most, and this is despite the fact that they only claim the lives of around 10 people a year. Even though fatal attacks are rare, it's hard not to think of them when you're swimming in the ocean, and I can confirm that the thought of sharks entered my mind when I was snorkeling in Mauritius recently. Of course, some shark species are more likely to attack humans than others, and some shark species are completely harmless. Two of the largest sharks in the world may look menacing, but they are interested in smaller creatures, and some of the most intimidating sharks are really gentle giants if you leave them alone. Sand tiger sharks go by quite a few different names depending on where you are from, and one of their most interesting features are their rows of teeth spilling out of their mouths. They can be found in temperate and subtropical waters worldwide, and strangely they are a popular shark with divers. At first, you may assume that an over 3-meter shark would be the last thing that a diver would want to run into, but despite their fearsome appearance, they are known for being placid and slow-moving. They are one of the most common large sharks that can be found in aquariums, and this is due to their hardiness and the fact that they adapt very well to living in captivity. It's much harder to find these predators in the wild, because like many other shark species around the world, they are currently threatened with extinction. They are currently listed as critically endangered, and there are quite a few human-related factors behind this. They are hunted for their fins around the world because of the demand from China for shark fin soup, and other body parts are used in cosmetic products such as lipstick. They are also sometimes killed by fishermen because of competition, as sand tiger sharks feed almost exclusively on fish, crustaceans, and squid. They also fall victim to swimming nets near popular beaches, and this has a massive effect on their numbers as they have a relatively low reproductive rate. The sand tiger shark has never had any confirmed fatal attacks on humans, but they have attacked people in the past. According to the Florida Museum, there have been at least 36 unprovoked non-fatal attacks, and a fully grown sand tiger shark can really cause some damage. Thankfully, we humans are very different to their usual prey, and they have evolved to hunt much smaller and softer animals. It can be quite terrifying to see any large sharks when you're swimming in the ocean, but the vast majority of fatal attacks are carried out by just 3 species: the bull shark, the tiger shark, and the great white shark. These sharks tend to hunt larger prey that are nearer the size of an average human, and they have teeth that are designed to tear off large chunks of flesh. The sand tiger shark, on the other hand, has teeth that are better suited to hang on to slippery prey, and they are too thin to tear off large chunks of flesh from mammalian prey. So thankfully, this giant shark is mostly a gentle giant, but you should still observe them from a safe distance. Despite what some people believe, the cheetah is not a big cat, but they are among the largest cats in the world. Technically, big cats are only cats that are in the genus Panthera, and the cheetah is in a different genus altogether, and it's the only living member in this genus. Famously, it's the fastest land animal on this planet, reaching a peak speed of around 65 miles per hour. This speed allows them to hunt many animals that the larger, bulkier predators in Africa are unable to, but this speed comes at a cost. Because of their lighter frame, they are forced to give up many of their kills, and this usually means that they are in a rush to eat whenever they make a kill. They usually target gazelles and antelope, and they have a hunting success rate of around 40 to 50%. Sometimes cheetahs will form small groups, and this means that they can hunt larger, more dangerous prey such as wildebeest. Even though they may not seem as fearsome as other large African predators such as lions, leopards, and spotted hyenas, they are still formidable predators and deserve to be respected. It's not an easy feat to take down a fully grown wildebeest, and most people will agree that they could easily take down children. If they have numbers on their side, they could even take down adults, but thankfully this has never happened since records began. Sometimes cheetahs will attack humans in captivity, but there has never been a recorded fatal cheetah attack on a human in the wild. Cheetahs will defend themselves if cornered or if they feel like their cubs are in danger, but in most cases, if you leave them alone, then they will leave you alone. Attacking a human is a big risk for a cheetah, and if they get injured, they will likely starve to death. Cheetahs deal with most conflicts with other predators by fleeing, and this is usually their response to humans approaching them too. If you find yourself alone in the African wilderness, then the cheetah is the least of your worries, as there are plenty of herbivores that are a much bigger danger to your life. Thankfully, they only seem to turn on humans in captivity, even though they are more than capable of running down humans. The Wolverine is the largest land-dwelling member of the mustelid family, and like other mustelids, it's known for its power relative to its size. It's capable of taking down animals many times its own size, but most of the time it chooses to feed on animals that have died of natural causes or that have been killed by other predators. They can be found across a large area of the northern hemisphere, and they often share their habitats with some of the deadliest animals on this planet. They are known for having an incredible sense of smell, and they use this ability to avoid other predators in their area and to find dead animals under thick snow. Even though the wolverine's diet is mostly made up of carrion, they will sometimes hunt for food, and they are capable of targeting one of the largest animals in their ecosystem. The moose is the largest member of the deer family, and only the deadliest predators will target them. As I've covered in a recent video, the wolverine is capable of taking down weak or young moose, and this is an incredible feat as the moose is so much larger than them. If a predator is capable of taking down an animal as large and powerful as a moose, then they are more than capable of killing a human, but thankfully this has never happened in the wild. Wolverines are known for being aggressive and territorial, and in captivity they can be quite hard to control. In the wild, there have been no verified attacks on humans, and this is mostly due to their nature, and their ability to avoid other animals if they wish to. Their sense of smell means that it's easy for them to sense humans before they get too close, and even though they will fight some predators over food, they mostly try to avoid other dangerous animals because of the risk. Wolves, bears and cougars are known to hunt these hardy animals, so it's best for them to avoid unnecessary fights. Thankfully, these feisty creatures never look to man for food, but a fully grown specimen would be a difficult fight for most people. The Eurasian lynx is the largest of the lynx species, and it's one of the largest predators in Europe. As I've covered in a recent video, they were once found over a much larger range, but thanks to poaching and habitat loss, they have a much smaller distribution today. Because large predators are needed in healthy ecosystems and because large herbivore numbers are getting out of control in some parts of Europe, there have been a few reintroduction campaigns across Europe, and there have been proposed reintroductions in places such as the UK. These reintroduction campaigns are often very controversial, as there are many arguments for and against their reintroduction. Farmers argue that their livestock will not be safe, and some people fear for their own lives. Eurasian lynx will sometimes target livestock, but they would only be reintroduced into sparsely populated areas, and there are different methods that can be used to stop predation on livestock. We have hunted them to extinction in the UK and converted their old habitats into agricultural land, so we need to make more room for nature or there will be no nature left, and the large herbivore numbers will continue to rise. This issue is a little more controversial at the moment, as it seems as though some people have taken it into their own hands and they have released a few lynx into the Scottish Highlands. This is of course not the way to go about things, and the lynx released seem to be in poor health. These predators are fully capable of taking down large deer such as red deer and young moose, so you'd assume that they would also be capable of dispatching a human. Despite this, they have never fatally attacked a human in the wild, and once again this is due to their nature. Like the snow leopard, they are known for being incredibly elusive, and they choose to avoid humans when they come across them. The Eurasian lynx and the snow leopard have very similar stories, but hopefully they will both make a comeback in the future. The orca is arguably the most impressive predator on this planet, and it's the most obvious inclusion on this list. As I've covered why the orca doesn't attack humans in the wild at great length in another video, I will keep this brief, but the reasons are all about their intelligence and how they are raised. The orca has been historically classified as one species with no subspecies, but experts believe that this should have been changed a long time ago. Different groups of orcas around the world differ in shape, size, and appearance, and they feed on completely different animals. Some orca ecotypes will only feed on fish and they get on well with other cetaceans, whereas other orca ecotypes predominantly feed on marine mammals and will hunt other cetaceans. When people swim with orcas, they mostly swim with the fish-eating orcas because it's safer, but when given the opportunity, these giants have never killed people in the wild. Famously, it's a very different story in captivity, but keeping these intelligent animals in captivity is inhumane, and it has a massive negative effect on their physical and mental health. In the wild, orcas will usually only feed on what they have been taught to, and this can cause major problems. For example, some salmon-eating orcas have been struggling due to the global decline of salmon numbers, and we have been trying to teach them to eat other prey animals. Orcas seem to be fascinated with us as they can't seem to figure us out, and this is why they will often take interest in swimmers and paddleboarders but never seem to attack them. This is still something that fascinates many of us around the world, and it wouldn't be a total shock if one of these animals were to attack humans in the future. Of course, there are many other animals that could have made it into this video, so if you think you know of any, then let me know down in the comments below. But for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.